I'm Linda.
And I'm Caitlin.
We bring you the biggest dramas
From the smallest microcosms.
Welcome to
Tea of the Town.
All right. I have a fascinating one today. So today's episode is Fat Bear Week 2024 turns Grizzly.
Okay, I have heard of Fat Bear Week.
Okay.
I see it on TikTok.
Uh-huh.
I didn't know that there was drama here, but I love Fat Bear Week, so I'm so excited.
You're going to learn a lot about bears. I love this type of stuff. And so you might be wondering what community we're talking about today.
Yeah.
We're talking about a sleuth of bears.
A sleuth of bears?
A sleuth of bears. So the group name for bears could be a sloth, a sleuth, a mall, or I think some people call it a litter, but that's more commonly used for cubs. I prefer sleuth because it just feels funner.
No, that's great. I am with you on that. A sleuth of bears.
Yes.
So there's drama within
the bear community. Yes, we're talking about bears.
I must know more.
So, these bears live at Brooks River.
Okay.
Where is Brooks River, you might ask?
Yes.
It is in Alaska, Katmai National Park and Preserve. So, I was actually explicitly looking for something in Alaska because I have a sister who lives in Alaska. Mm-hmm. And she tells me all kinds of things about what it's like to live in Alaska, and it just sounds kind of fun and cool.
Yeah.
And so I figured there might be some interesting things to cover. I found this story, and I'm obsessed with it.
Oh, I can't wait. I mean, like, fat bears. Yeah, sign me up.
Right? All day long. So, where are we? We're at Katmai National Park and Preserve. They run Fat Bear Week every year. And it's a beautiful national preserve in Alaska. I mean, Alaska is just gorgeous. Yeah. You have stunning scenery. It's super wild. Obviously very cold a lot of the year. Mm-hmm. Tons of wildlife. And a lot of the draw of Fat Bear Week is I know. The cuddly bears. And this is in Brooks River where they catch all their salmon. Like, this is the falls. And they all congregate around this whole community, this sleuth of bears. And they grab salmon out the river. And it's just amazing, right? So you have, like, the salmon run happening. And so you can kind of, like, dig into that. I don't have any tea about the community of salmon that's going up the river to lay their eggs. But the bears are very interesting.
Yeah.
So nature is totally lit. And that's kind of the purpose behind Bear Week. So this national park puts on this event to raise sort of awareness of the bears, of the preserve. And it's super fun, and it's gone kind of viral, which is amazing.
That's really smart, though.
Yeah.
Like, get people interested and get them committed.
Yes.
Also, push your cause at the same time. Yes. I think that's, like, a brilliant play.
Yes, it raises awareness, and it sort of educates people about what's happening as well. Like, this whole process of the bears fattening up and the salmon going upstream, and it's like just a good educational and awareness opportunity.
Totally.
And the whole point of it is you're watching these bears go from, like, skinny legend to, like, chunk master, bodacious babes, right? So this is Holly's transformation from 2019.
I love it.
And, it's like reverse Ozempic for bears, which I love.
It's no Zempic.
No Zempic. Yes.
And I'm obsessed. Yeah. Like, here's my personal problem. I see this and I'm like, I want a pet.
Cuddle.
I want a pet. My mom is actually terrified of bears.
Oh, really?
So she probably would not have the same reaction. But, like, I see bears and I'm just like, if not friend, why friend shaped?
Give me hug.
Exactly.
Yeah, totally. So this is Fat Bear Week, and what's fun about it is it's sort of a March Madness style bracket. And the internet votes for their favorite fat bears as they go through the process of fattening up.
Yes.
Right? And so it's all voting based. So you'll vote for your favorite bears. And the whole purpose is like, okay, you pick your favorite bear and then you talk about your bears. So there's tons of like memes that come out, people promoting their favorite bears, like vote for this bear, vote for that bear. And there's commentary. People like get on and say, okay, Fat Bear Week's coming. Who's going to win? You know? And a lot of the same bears will compete every week, or they'll pick the same bears to go in the bracket, or every year, sorry. And so it's fun because you learn like who the bears are and you can track them and follow them through time. And it's really fascinating and fun for people to participate.
No, I love this. I think it's so cool to get the community interested and like have them follow along these different specific bears.
Yes.
One question I have, because I have seen Fat Bear Week, I haven't like actively participated.
Mm-hmm.
Are we voting on favorites or are we voting on who's going to get the fattest?
Well, you could technically use your vote any way you want.
Yeah.
But the whole purpose is you're voting for like biggest transformation or fattest bear. So a lot of it is just like, okay, who has the best fat bear picture, you know? Because look, they're adorable and they get super chonky and like I love it.
Yes.
But some of the commentary is about the transformation, like how skinny did they emerge that year, and then how fat did they get, like how drastic was the transformation. So I would say it's kind of a combination between like transformation and how fat are you compared to the other bears.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. So you kind of have to do a little bit of both. You can't just come out fat and be like, rest on your laurels. Yeah. You got to go through it. You got to eat a lot of salmon. Mm-hmm. You have to be on the cameras. You got to participate, right?
I see.
Yeah. So, of course, why do people love Fat Bear Week? Because you get to look at pictures of fat bears. I know, right? Look at this guy.
I know, like, in my logical brain, not safe.
But
what I wouldn't give to have this bear.
Okay. Okay, so who are our characters? First is Chunk. Chunk is a fat bear. Chunk is about 30 years old.
Okay.
He's a male. He's actually pretty aggressive. Like, he's one of the more dominant ones at the river.
Okay.
And he's participated in Fat Bear Week a bunch of times.
Yeah.
So Chunk is 30, male, like, doing his thing. Look at him.
He's a troll. No, he is not.
Yeah. And then we have Grazer. Grazer, blonde-eared babe.
Love it.
Blonde-eared babe. She is, I think she's 28, and she's just, look at her.
She's adorable.
Right? Yeah, and she's known for being a pretty fierce, like, mama bear, because she's had several litters of cubs. So she's
out playing around.
No, she's not. And look at her little pudge. She's come to slay. She's come to play.
She's a fierce competitor.
Every single year. Yes. So that's Grazer. And then we have Bear 402.
402?
Yeah. I know. So Bear 402 is actually known for being like a legendary prolific mama bear. And she's had 8 litters of cubs.
Get off of her.
Yeah.
Let her rest.
I know. She's like doing it.
She's doing it. Yes. She's getting her action.
And again, she's also known for being like very fierce, very protective, very like, come at me, bro. You know what I mean?
Why don't we give her a number? And I mean,
so all the bears have numbers, but some of them develop nicknames. 402, for whatever reason, 402 stuck.
Yeah.
And so they call her 402.
Oh.
Some of the other bears end up just getting like, instead of calling them like 128, they call them some name, right? And so 402 is just her bear number, and then she ended up just having her 402 number. Honestly, yeah, 402. 402.
I see it.
Look at her.
Okay, I get it.
And she's a blonde bear, too. Yeah. So she's got the blonde ears. She's pretty, she's looking...
She's working.
Looking fit. Looking for her next round of cubs. You know what I mean? So this is 402. And then we have Patches the bear. Patches the bear. Patches is kind of older. I didn't find how old Patches is. Yes. But he's on the older side. He's He's actually not as frequent a kind of a character at Brooks River where they all hang out and eat their salmon. So he's come a bunch of times, but he's not a regular like a lot of the other bears, and he's actually never participated in Fat Bear Week.
Really?
All the other three characters in this story are all like regular participants in Fat Bear Week. So Patches is a little bit, he's not an outsider because he obviously is in the sleuth, like he's at the river with them, but he's not like there every day on the cams all the time.
Okay.
So one of the appeals of Fat Bear Week is the cams. So this is actually a screenshot from the cameras that I took. So I just logged on literally at 10 o'clock at night randomly, and there's all the bears.
Oh my
They're just hanging. And you can see like the fishes literally just jumping out of the river, and you can see the bears just moseying around, eating their fishies, because Fat Bear Week is coming up at the time we're filming this, it's about like 2 weeks from now.
Yeah.
So they're getting pretty fat.
Yeah.
Right? They're getting up there.
They're getting up there real chunky and cute.
So, and you can just log on and watch the bears. And so people will go on the bear cams and you can just see what the bears are doing, and people will like report on it, and you can see like, you know, what the bears are doing, and people do like bear reporting.
I love this. Maybe you should not have told me about this. I'm not gonna get anything done. I am only gonna watch.
You should, because it's great. So that's part of the appeal of this, is the bear cams, which is awesome.
Yes.
And what is all this for? What are all these bears going through right now? They're preparing for hibernation. Did I go down a rabbit hole on hibernation?
Of course you did.
Yes, I did. Caitlin, would you like to learn some bear facts about hibernation?
I thought you would never ask.
Here we go.
Okay.
All right. Couple of facts. What are these bears going through right now? What's happening in their lives?
Yeah.
Every year they prepare for hibernation, but actually it's not true hibernation. A lot of mammals who go through hibernation, like smaller mammals like ground squirrels, like they'll go into true full hibernation where most of their body just shuts down and their temperature gets really low. But bears are a little bit different. They go through a state of deep sleep. It's called torpor. And it's not actually like full hibernation. They are kind of in a mostly sleep state the whole time, and they don't emerge, but it's slightly different because their body temperature still is pretty high. Like it lowers, but it doesn't go like as low, so they don't completely shut down. So bears can actually like wake up from hibernation very easily, which is why like they warn hikers, like, you know, obviously you don't want to step in a bear den or like go into a bear hibernation hole.
Yeah.
Because they'll wake up and they might kill you, right?
I didn't know that. I thought in hibernation was the same and you're just like knocked out.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's a little bit different for bears. And hibernation generally is really fascinating with bears, and like slightly different. And there's a couple other reasons why. Well, first off, they lose 30% of their weight, usually about 30%. Sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less. And what's really fascinating about it is it's like all fat. So they keep their muscles, they keep their bone density, and that's actually pretty atypical. Like the fact that they keep so much of their muscle and bone density is like a fact that people are trying to research and study. Like how the heck, what's the physiological processes that are allowing this to happen with bears?
Yeah.
Because it's not as typical. And if we can kind of figure out what the mechanisms are, you can apply it to like osteoporosis treatments. You could apply it also to space travel. So NASA is also really interested in this phenomenon that happens with bears where they can like maintain this muscle and bone mass. Because if you can unlock like how that works, you can imagine like keeping astronauts in space for much longer.
Totally. So basically other animals, when they hibernate, they lose a mix of muscle or bone. Yeah. But with bears, something in their body specifically knows to just happen to the fat. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's not as if like it's with other animals, this phenomenon does happen, but from what I understand, it's like a lesser degree.
Yeah.
And so bears specifically are a really interesting topic of study because they're so good at this.
Wow. I had no idea.
Yeah. So that chonky chonk is all in preparation for this. So they're trying to eat as many salmons as they can, get all that blubber on them so that they can go and hibernate.
Okay.
And this is the other interesting thing. No, they don't eat the whole time and they don't take any bathroom breaks. So like all their body goes into this crazy state where like they do not they break down waste into proteins, and they do not poo and they do not pee, and their body just like, and I actually asked ChatGPT like, well, what happens when they come out? Do they take like the biggest shit ever? And ChatGPT was like, that's a fascinating question. I know, tell me the answer. Anyway, so they actually don't really produce waste. They like break it down. Their body knows how to break it down into proteins, which is another interesting thing to study. But they actually, when they come out of hibernation, there's like a hair and hard matter plug that develops, and then they like expel, sorry, I might cut this out because it's weird, but like it gets expelled, and then actually researchers like collect them and study them, and there's a lot you can learn about the bears just from like that, like were they stressed when they were hibernating, what is the mama pregnant, like all kinds of interesting things.
So it's like a plug and not poo.
It's like a plug, and then their first poo they expel the plug with the poo, and so it's called like a tap-in, I think.
That is so
Anyway, sorry, weird facts. We're not done. I did not know this. They give birth while they're hibernating, and they give birth like half asleep.
What?
Yeah.
That okay, honestly,
right?
not a bad
Good deal.
Like, I mean, I never given birth, but I could only imagine if
Good
you had
deal.
to do it, that one of you to beg for it. Yeah. But yeah, also kind of crazy to think like you go to bed and then you wake up and you've got like children.
Yeah, and they actually like nurse their young for like, it's like 2 to 3 months. They give birth half asleep, and then they have like, they're awake enough, and they're in this like half awake sleep state, but they have enough instincts to like actually nurse and cuddle and care for their young while they're like asleep for months.
That's so weird. So are they kind of like sleepwalking?
They're not walking. They're literally just like
laying there.
Yeah. Yeah, and they're like nursing their young. Yeah. And it's interesting because okay, you've never actually seen like a newborn grizzly bear, right? Think about it. You think you have because you see these cute little cuddly things. Like that's not what a newborn grizzly bear looks like. They're like naked. They're like the size of a Coke can. Yeah, they look more like baby pandas. You know, you've seen them, like baby pandas. Like they're tiny and ugly and they look like aliens.
Everything that I've ever seen, because I don't think I've ever seen a naked baby panda. Okay.
So they're tiny and they look like little aliens, right? And then over the course of 2 to 3 months, they grow their fur. They're the cubs that you know. But the reason like you don't see them is they're hibernating with their moms, and their moms are like in this half-wake sleep state. So anyway, this is what 402 is doing 8 times, right?
Wow.
She's doing this, and like bears usually have one to three cubs. Sometimes they have 4. It's more common to have 2 or 3.
Yeah.
And so they're emerging, and they've got like 2 to 3 month old cubs. And so 402 and Grazer mama bears, like they're also prepping for this. Like if they are gonna have cubs, this is what they're about to do when they're going through Fat Bear Week.
Wow, because I'd also imagine, like, does that mean that the female bears have to gain more weight in the chances that they're pregnant? Because I know that, like, I mean,
I would imagine, yeah.
Nursing takes a lot of calories. Mm-hmm. I can't imagine that it would be different with bear.
I would assume it's the same. I don't actually know that because I didn't read anything about the differences in pregnant preparation versus other, just a regular normal year for a female or a male. Yeah. But I would imagine that's so, like maybe the hunger increase. I don't know what it is. But like the chunk that you see on some of these female bears, yeah, it's going to also birth children and nurse children.
That is hibernation.
Yeah. So this was the rabbit hole that we went on. And Grazer actually emerges from hibernation this year with 2 baby cubbos.
Right? She a little baby.
So this is some footage of Grazer and her 2 cubbies. So she comes out in 2024. She has got 2 baby cubbies. So she's at the river with her 2 baby cubbies, and she's actually the only female that year that came to the river with new cubs. So cubs stay with their moms for like 2.5 years, 2 to 3 years, basically. And they were the only little cubs that were born that year. So they call them cubs of the year. And they were the only 2 that she brought. So Grazer is the new mama bear this year.
That's so cute.
So here they are, they're tooling around, and the mama bears bring the cubs everywhere, right? So they're at the river together with the whole sleuth. They're hanging out, they're eating the fishies. This is Grazer getting a fishy for her 2 babes. So you can see they're just adorable, right? It's so cute.
So cute.
So cute. And what's awesome is you can see all this on bear cam, right? Like you can see the babies, you can see like mama, you can see all the things. So she just like grabbed a salmon like it was like in the fridge, and now she's going to eat it with her babes. So it's adorable.
It's so cute.
Right? Okay. So we've got Grazer. Competition this year. For sure, she's got her new babies on the table. So here's where things start to get a little messy in Fat Bear Week 2024. Okay. You ready for this?
Yeah.
The first kind of conflict of the season is between Grazer and Chunk. So you remember Chunk? Chunk is like a 30-year-old male. He's known to be like more dominant.
Yeah.
Then you got Grazer, mama bear, 2 new babies, which means she's fiercer than normal, right?
Oh, for sure.
Right. So the first conflict is early in the summer, and Grazer and Chunk get into it. And I'm going to give you a play-by-play.
Oh, no.
So, first thing that happens is they're at the falls together, and you can see this little pink arrow. You can barely see this, and you're not going to know what it is until I tell you.
Yeah.
So one of her little cubbies fell down the fall.
Oh, no.
And that's not a big deal on its own. Because, like, if you watch the bear cam, I watched a ton of these videos.
Yeah.
And, like, the bears are always falling down the falls. Like, they're just like, it's actually kind of adorable. So, and then they just kind of either get back up and they climb back up, or they float down the river or whatever. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
But her cub falls down the river, and mama bear sees, and the problem is actually that like Chunk is right down the river, and she doesn't want, like, male bears are actually kind of like a threat to a lot of the baby cubs. So she was like immediately, no.
Yes.
Excuse me. So in this next scene, it's very grainy, but I'm going to tell you what's happening. So what you can see here is like immediately Grazer rushes Chunk and just starts attacking, because she sees Chunk, like when her cub goes down the river, she sees Chunk start to like charge the cub. So she immediately is like, excuse me, get out of my house.
Love it.
Immediately. So she charges him hard, and you can see the little cubby behind her barely, but she charges him hard, right?
Yes.
And she is taking him on. Like, I watched the video several times, and she is not playing, and she is going for him.
She is in it. So she got full mama bear vote.
Full mama bear
protecting
mode.
Her baby. Yeah. Like, all this is right in between them.
And this is her little cubby behind her. So, like, she's right in between them, and she's just, like, fighting him off, fighting him down the river.
She's such a good mommy.
She is a good mommy. And so at this point, she's, like, fought him further down the river. So you can see her. She's actually looking back to make sure her cubby is okay.
Yeah.
Chunk is right here. Obviously, look at him. He looks kind of defeated because he just got told off.
As he should.
By Grazer for charging her cub.
Yes.
And she's looking back right now to make sure her cub is okay.
Yeah.
Right? And her cub is right here. Cubby is floating down the river, and he's okay. Like, this is the one that he charged.
Yeah.
But what she doesn't realize is that her other cubby also came down after her and is floating down the river directly toward Chunk.
No. I know.
I'm sorry to tell you. I'm not going to show you the next image, but Chunk got the baby, and the baby didn't survive.
No.
I know.
No.
I know, I know. So Mama Bear defended her babies, but she was defending one and just didn't see the other one had come down the falls and was just getting swept directly toward Chunk.
My heart is breaking.
And she immediately went after him, but it was too late. The baby died from the injuries of just like the initial maul. And so these are the two babies together before the incident. And I will say, you should know the survival rate for cubs is only like 35%.
Really?
In this particular national park. It's actually a little bit different for each region. So some places have higher survival rates for cubs because there's like less bears around. They're less densely populated. So I saw some statistics of like as high as like 60% for cub survival in different regions, but this particular region, it's pretty densely populated.
Yeah.
So cubs don't have a very high survival rate because these kind of things happen, you know, and they die from all kinds of things. And so the survival rate being 35%, she's got two cubs. It's actually not, you know, this type of thing is not, you know, it's not like this crazy abnormal thing that would happen. There's a reason why she charged him immediately because she knew the cubs were in danger.
I know it's nature and
yeah,
it's supposed to happen, but I'm so sad.
I know. I was like really scared to show you this part. Okay. So Grazer and Chunk obviously have beef now this season.
Yeah,
right?
I got beef with Chunk.
Yeah, everybody has beef with Chunk. Excuse me, Chunk is not looking so cute anymore. But Grazer fought the good fight.
Yes, she did.
So Grazer Mama Bear. So that's what happened to Grazer and Chunk. That's why they have beef this year. Okay. So the summer goes on. The bears are fattening up.
Yes.
And we're about to start, but the day before Fat Bear Week begins, there's another conflict. But this time it's between 402 and Patches. Yeah. So, okay, I'm going to say there's no cubs involved in this. There's no cubs involved in this part of the story, okay?
I don't know if my heart's still be
402, actually, this photo has one of her litters of cubs, the one with 4, but she didn't have any cubs this year. So she actually did have a cub that she was seen with earlier in the summer, but it was about 2.5 and they had separated by then. So that was the point at which like the cub was independent and self-sufficient. So the cub separated from her earlier in the summer. So she didn't come to the river with any cubs that year because she had just kind of like weaned or like separated from her last cub.
Yeah.
And so she didn't have any cubs at this point. So I just want to assure you
Thank you.
You know, she's a mama bear, but she did not have any cubs with her. And then as you know, Patches, he's not necessarily a regular part of the sleuth. So he's in and out, you know?
Yeah. So he's like just kind of like an outsider, not like an outsider.
Yeah.
But he's just not integrated into
He's not super integrated. Right. And so I'm just going to get right into this one. 402 and Patches have a fight and Patches kills 402. The day before Fat Bear Week. I'm sorry.
This story is devastating.
I know, but this is nature.
This is nature. Nature is brutal.
I know.
Oh my!
I know. And the thing that's really sad and terrifying about both of these things is they both happened on the cams, right? So people saw this happen live. And people, especially with 402, like 402's participated in Fat Bear Week and is a loved bear.
Just had 8 litters.
Yeah. And so it was really just like shocking for a lot of people. And, you know, of course it was live. And so this is one of the articles that came out about it. You know, Fat Bear Week was marred by a live streamed Grizzly murder. And it was really quite sad. And there was quite a bit of coverage on it. This is another one from Scribs. And so 402 and Patches got into it. Not a good look. Patches, Fat Bear Week, day before, takes out a competitor.
These male bears ain't shit.
No, they are not. No, they are not.
Not a fan. Not a fan. I got personal beef with these bears now.
Yeah. So 402 lived a good life And actually the national park did a couple of Q&As and delayed the start of Fat Bear Week because of this incident.
Yeah.
And this is one of the things that they said. National parks like Katmai protect not only the wonders of nature, but also the harsh realities. And they also said each bear seen on the webcams is competing with others to survive, which is, I mean, it's true.
It's true.
It's totally true. And this is a memorial for 402 that they put out. And, you know, it's really sweet. This is some footage of her with some of her cubs through the years. And one of the things that I took away from it after reading about it is they characterized 402 as like a very successful bear, having lived a very successful life. And she was, I think she was like near 30, if I remember right, when she passed away. And that's actually a very typical lifespan for a bear. So a lot of bears, the lifespan that I could figure out was like 25 to 30 years. So it's not atypical for this type of thing to happen, which is why, you know, they characterize her life as like very legendary and successful. She had 8 litters of cubs.
Yeah.
She was very much like an aggressive, dominant bear. She was, you know, she lived a really successful life as a bear. And so this is, you know, the memorial video they put out, and you can see that just like a bunch of her litters and different interactions that she's had through the years. And, you know, it's just, I think that when I saw initially that she had passed away, I was like, oh my gosh, that's so tragic. But then you realize, okay, like the moment in time for 402, it's not, she was very successful as a bear. She lived a really good life. And so I took that as my like little solace.
No, and I get that. I recognize that, but at the same time, in my illogical brain, I got beat with patches.
100%, and everyone else did too.
Because I guess I just, in my mind, I hope that the ending isn't this harsh bear murder, but rather she just like goes peacefully in her next round of hibernation.
I know. Yeah. And look, we lost 402, and this is one of the bears falling down the falls. See, like it's just happens all the time. And I really think that the community reacted in the same way, right? Like the reaction of the community, because it was live on camera, was exactly the same. They were all horrified because they love these bears. They've followed these bears for years, and it's literally the day before Fat Bear Week, so they delayed the entire thing because she was in the brackets. They have to figure out a new bear, and so it was really hard for everybody to digest because, you know, it's just people get attached to these bears.
I've gotten attached in the span of these slides, so yeah, I can only imagine.
Yeah. So finally, they do launch the bracket for Fat Bear Week. Late, but they've launched it. So they launched the bracket. Of course, Patches is no longer, there's no Patches here.
Out the bracket.
We're not talking about Patches anymore. 402 obviously is not on here, but we have Grazer and Chunk on the board, as per usual. Both of them have competed previously.
Okay.
So Fat Bear Week progresses. We go through the voting after this sort of hiccup it's not a hiccup, but you know, after this delay in the beginning, we finally get to the brackets. Fat Bear Week pops off. We start getting the memes. We start getting the big booties. We start getting the fat bears. We're loving it.
Yes.
So the community is kind of back on to the Fat Bear Week bracket train.
Yeah.
And we go through the first rounds of voting. And guess who makes it to the finals? Grazer and Chunk.
What a showdown. But also, who is out here voting for Chunk?
Right.
I've got a problem with that.
Yeah. So okay, right. It's interesting because Grazer and Chunk are in the final round, and there's definitely that vibe of competition in the community because they're like, wait a minute, this is like they've got beef. There's a showdown. Yes. Are you like fierce lover of like Grizzly reality, nature is lit, or are you gonna support Mama Bear? You know,
I'm supporting Mama Bear. I'm putting my like vote in right now. It's Mama Bear.
Yeah. Well, you're not alone. Grazer won the final.
Yes.
So Grazer took home the trophy, 71,000 to 30,000 votes. So Chunk got destroyed.
As he should.
Destroyed.
Yes, love it.
Utterly and completely.
Oh, this feels like a small win for Grazer. Like, she needed this.
She needed it. Yeah. Yeah. So votes are in. Grazer takes the crown. So that's the post.
Beautiful.
That's the post that they did, which I thought was amazing. And the caption is, "Heavy is the rump that wears the crown."
Congrats.
So I thought it was great. And then we've got the news coverage of Grazer beating Chunk. And obviously the beef that brought them there. And this is her transformation that year. So she went from...
What a before and after.
Right? Skinny legend to bodacious babe.
We'd love to see it.
She's looking good, ready for her hibernation that year. She's got her baby cubby still. So she's still mama bearing it up. And so yeah, she's victorious in the end. And we are going to see what happens this year in Fat Bear Week.
Oh, I'm going to be voting. I'm logging online. She's getting my vote. He's going to be a 2-time champ.
I'm excited for them to release the bracket because now that I know the beef and the tea of the sleuth of bears of Brooks River, I am going to follow them to see how it evolves. So
I think we might need a follow-up this year to see if there's any new...
Right. What happens? So we're going to see who wins this year. We're going to watch some adorable fat bears. Yes. And that is the tea of the sleuth of bears of Brooks River.
What an emotional roller coaster. There were highs, there were lows. We cried, we laughed. I knew of Fat Bear Week. I had no idea.
Yeah.
The drama within the community. Mm-hmm. Thank you so much for bringing me this delightful story.
Yeah. Cheers.
Cheers.
To Grazer.
To Grazer.
Let's take a sip of tea.